Bayern Munich and Tottenham Hotspur have reached an agreement, a done deal between the two football clubs to bring Harry Kane, the England number 9, Tottenham's greatest ever player, to the Bundesliga next season. Big decisions ahead now for Harry Kane, who had been leaning towards staying at Tottenham. Will a Premier League club come in now that a fee has been agreed and try and match that bid or slightly increase it? But it does now appear that Harry Kane is on his way out of Tottenham. Bayern Munich with that early done deal. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. And I said last night, the window is heating up with just 3 weeks to go. It's a done deal show. Let's do this. This was news. Some people have expected all summer for Harry Kane to leave. Others have been a bit more skeptical, especially Tottenham fans. A lot of Spurs fans have spoke to us on the football terrace. I don't think he'll leave. I don't think he'll go. I can't see it happening. Levy won't do it. He's too stubborn. I've never believed that. I don't think Levy is the best at running a football club in terms of making you the best football team in the world. What Levy is impeccable at doing is running it from a financial standpoint as a business and keeping Harry Kane for one more year, for him to run his deal down the league for free. By the way, he's never going to be replaced. Spurs will probably, look, listen, I mean this sincerely. It's highly unlikely in the next 50 years that Spurs have a striker as good as Harry Kane. Genuinely mean that. So you're never going to replace him like for like, but you have to raise funds and reinvest them into your team. It has to happen. It would have been gross negligence to not do that. So the deal has now been done. To read out what Ornstein was the first journalist to put this out, and he said that Bayern Munich have reached an agreement with Tottenham to sign Harry Kane. Sources in Germany indicate Bayern have proposed a deal worth 100 million euros, and that has now been accepted. So let's just break that down for a minute. If you put 100 million euros in today, and what that works out as pounds on conversion, that's 86 million pound Spurs have accepted as a total package. And we'll come back to that a little bit later. According to other sources in Germany, Harry Kane has a 5-year contract offer on the table from Bayern Munich. He is now on the verge of joining the Bundesliga champions. So there's a lot of people out there that in Germany that believe this deal is going to happen. They believe this deal is going to get over the line. But as ever, what I really want, what I'm really seeking today is your views, is your opinions on this deal. I want to know what you think, what you feel. And I've said this already, still think there could be a sting in the tail here. Remember, just like Mohamed Kudus to Brighton, clubs have agreed the fee, but the player is holding out. Now, Man United may not come back in. Chelsea may not come in. There may not be another club across Europe that does come in for him and look, he agrees and he leaves. I'm hoping, this is pure hopium. I mean it. This is me hoping. This isn't based on anything I've read and seen. I'm hoping Man United now walk in and go, look, we'll give you 95 million then. 10 million more than Bayern are giving you, more to reinvest. And they try and hijack that deal. The fact that Kane hasn't completely agreed on personal terms before the done deal between the two clubs. By the way, guys, that's why I say to you, a done deal between clubs isn't a completed deal. They're very slightly different things. So I'm hoping that happens. But my hope is fading. Like, I'm not lying to you. It's like 5% will happen, 95% hope. That's where I'm at right now. But I will say this about Harry Kane. I will say this about Kane. This is what he needs to do. I don't want to personally see him go to Bayern Munich. I would love to see him become a Manchester United player. But that is purely and simply my bias as a Man United fan. But this is what Kane has to do. If he opts to stay at Tottenham over joining Bayern Munich, there's going to be a part of me that loses respect for this man. A part of me that loses respect for this man because Bayern Munich are a gigantic, colossal football club. He can win major honors. He can win one of the best leagues in the world. And he has a chance of winning a Champions League. This is something all elite athletes should be striving for, to become the very best they can. If you're an MMA fighter and you're in Bellator and the UFC offer you an opportunity, you've got to take it. If you're playing European basketball and you get an opportunity to go and play in the NBA, you've got to take it. If you're in the NBA, a franchise that doesn't really have the ability of winning the championship and that one of the best teams comes in for you, you've got to go and do it. That's what legends are generally remembered for. What they performing at the highest level for the biggest clubs, the biggest teams, or for the biggest organizations, and putting that gold strap around your waist or raising that trophy at the end of the season. And I'm kind of proud of Harry Kane if he does this, because there's always a risk of going abroad. If you actually go through the last 30, 40 years of English players that apply their trade abroad, there are far more disasters than there are successes. Genuinely, there are far more disasters. So it's a brave thing for him to do. I hope he gets hijacked by Man United. I've already said that already, but I'm glad. I hope that this man finally leaves Tottenham. That's not a dig at Spurs. Spurs have their place in football, but Harry Kane is too good for them. He needs to win major trophies. Now, viewers, I want to get your opinions on this. Please hit like buttons. Please subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. Very, very important indeed. That you do that for us today. Remember, 3 p.m. today, I'm live with Big Steve, and at 6 p.m. today, we've got the Top 6 show. There's so much to discuss today. It's great. I'm going to have a busy day. I'm going to be asleep by about 7:30 tonight. I'm going to be exhausted, but we are here for you. Super chat, CSA, Chelsea activate Adams' release clause. Yeah, I've seen that. He says, buy Kane. We'll be reacting to that today with Big Steve and on the Top 6 show this afternoon. So make sure you're with us. Make sure you've got your bookmarks and bell notifications set up today on the Terrace. You don't miss none of our shows. United will never come in. Look, when I'm thinking logically, I agree with you. But as ever, I'm a football fan. I'm allowed to hope. I'm allowed to have dreams. I'm allowed to pray. And I pray and I hope that we do. I pray and I hope that we do. The sad thing is, if he really does go for 86 million, the thing is this is what will happen. You spent 64 million on Højlund, but Kane was available for 86. I don't think Kane is available for 86 million for a Premier League club. I think a Premier League club has got to go 110, 120. That's what was quoted to us. However, what I've said all along is, well, why don't we let another team basically get the deal done, and then maybe you can get it a little cheaper. And a few people have said here, Højlund, question marks, ha, ha, ha. This is where there's banter, and I banter people on Twitter, and it's always funny. There's a guy that always calls me out when I banter his club, but all I ever see this guy do is banter everybody else. It's very weird. People typically love giving banter. They can't take it. Strange. But for me, if you go back to the original sources, Ten Hag wanted Kane and Højlund. So if we get both, that is not a Højlund's not going to play. That is a wow, you bought a here and now striker and a potential superstar for the future. That isn't something to laugh at. That's like laughing at a club going out this summer and buying Rodri from Man City and Lavia. You wouldn't laugh at it. So you can't laugh at it if United were to pull that off from a striker point of view. That would be very strange indeed. Sharim here, one of our Liverpool fans and members, says Liverpool to hijack Kane, inshallah. Do you know what, right? The only reason, listen, this is what's crazy, right? Hindsight is the most lucrative commodity in the world. Because if Kane does, say anyone can now get him for 86 million, theoretically buying Nunez's and everybody else for these similar fees would be seen as crazy because Kane is so superior to all of them. However, like I've said, I think if an English club was leading these negotiations with Tottenham, it'd be 115, 120, somewhere along those lines. So the price is much, much bigger. Typically, it isn't when it's teams that are not your rivals when it comes to Tottenham and other clubs, really. Terry, you care way too much about being bantered. Why? No, I don't care too much about being bantered. I think for me, I enjoy banter. I enjoy having a laugh. What I find interesting is when the banter's dead, when it isn't funny, or if it's recycled. I put a tweet out the other day that went pretty viral. And then I saw about 30 other people that basically copy and paste my tweet and change a few words. I'm like, but that's dead banter now because you're milking it, bruv. That's all it is. I'm just trying to educate the youngsters on what good banter looks like. That's all. Equally, if you banter people, like Igao is this. I love Igao, but Igao trolls all day. But if someone trolls Arsenal, he's in their replies getting angry. Saying, well, that's not true. Why are you lying? It's just weird. That's what I find weird about it. It's like, take the rough with the smooth. Anyway, we move on. Kane is gone, like Tom Little sleeping on the couch after yesterday's show. Oi, oi. Yeah, he was getting... Obviously, that wasn't his real girlfriend, but yeah, he got cooked. It shows Levy doesn't want him to go to a Prem team. Of course, yes, Spurs don't want him to. But and this is what I sometimes say to people. This is why, look, tier one journalists at clubs are reliable at times. But there are other moments where you've got to disregard them. Do you remember when, I want to say it was James Ducker, 3 weeks ago, did an article and said that the hierarchy at Enoch, who are essentially Levy's bosses, they own more of Spurs than he does, said to him, yo, you ain't letting this asset leave for nothing next summer. You must get, if he doesn't want to stay or sign a new deal, he's got to go. And I remember most people that are respected by the Spurs community, journalistically or intermediaries, were like, I don't think this is true. This is nonsense. He isn't going to go. They can't force it. It's turned out to be true. And this is where sometimes you've got to listen to stories that come outside of the sphere of your football club when it isn't necessarily positive. When it isn't positive, in my opinion, you have to listen. You don't have to take it as the gospel truth, but you've got to bank it. You've got to keep it as part of your thought process. You can't just disregard it and go, that's not true because, Alistair Gold didn't say it. That's strange as far as I'm concerned. Kane leaned more to staying at Spurs, apparently. L mentality. Yeah, that's what's being... This is the thing, though. I don't know if I necessarily believe that in terms of that is what's going to be reported. But Kane's smart for doing that. The same as Vlahovic is saying that he'd rather stay at Juve than join a Premier League club. I call BS. But he can't say he wants to leave in case a deal doesn't go through. Then you have to face your fans having said you wanted to leave. Remember, people, PR. Stop listening to all of it and read between the lines. There's a great post that went out today from a Man United fan account on Instagram that literally shows 3 different times that Ten Hag has said Maguire, De Gea, and Ronaldo. He loves them, can't wait to work with them, and they've got good futures at the club. They're all gone. Some people, again, people that are looking to be negative, will go, he's lying to us. But you can find those quotes from all managers who take over clubs that eventually sell players because they're just being professional. But you have to read between the lines and look at their actions and not just what they say, because they will often say things that keep the heat off them in the media. And then what you do get is you get a handful of people who are overly negative or they enjoy a controversy that turn it into like a big conspiracy. But that's just weird. The rest of us just look at that. We laugh at you because you're like a jester. Like there's that Mike Love United Hate Glazer account. He used to wind me up. Now I just look at him for what he is. He's a jester. It's just funny. I realize no one actually takes it seriously. You just laugh at it. It's a giggle. And that's the best way to handle it. Hoyland's glass. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's have a look at some more of these comments here. Are you talking to each other? Kudus and Brighton. Yeah, it hasn't been agreed on personal terms yet, so we'll see what's going to happen there. Arsenal Champions League favourites. No. Why? I don't even understand why that comment's on this stream. It doesn't even make sense to me. Maybe Spurs threw in an add-on of 50 million for one Premier League goal. Maybe, I don't know. But at the moment, no. At 86 million, I can't imagine why no Premier League club would get involved. They should. I don't get why they wouldn't. Barring Man City, who don't need one. Look, Arsenal won't get involved. They won't do the deal with Arsenal. But remember, I'm just putting this out there now. Even Liverpool that have Gakpo and Núñez, if any one of the other sort of potential title challengers signs Harry Kane this summer, they can beat City to the title. City are still favourites, but it changes everything. If Arsenal sign Kane, if Man United sign Kane today, their chances of winning the league, in my opinion, improved by 15, 20, 30%. Because this man is a bagsman, he is a baller, and I believe he's a leader. And I've said this for a long time. I think he has struggled when he's been at Tottenham in big games at times because the whole club and the whole fan base puts the pressure on him. That won't happen at Arsenal or at Man United or at Liverpool. It's spread out amongst other stars within the team. And I think that will make him flourish. That's why I think he's going to do brilliantly at Bayern Munich, because the pressure's not going to all be on Kane. There's so many other top players there. The pressure is spread and he'll thrive. He absolutely will. He won't be suffocated all the time. Make sure like buttons are being hit on the stream as well, people. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. The Arsenal fan here, one of our members, says Man United should definitely get involved and test Levy. Yeah, we should. We should, in my opinion. Terry, did you hear about Højlund's injury? I've read a few bits and pieces. There's some that are saying it's worse than they first thought. I've read other things saying he'll be fit and available for the first Premier League game, but he's training on grass at the minute. So this is what you got to remember. He's training separately to get his fitness levels up. But once a player's training on grass, typically that's not long term. Whenever they've got the studs on and they're on grass running around, hitting balls, it's typically not a bad injury, typically. But yeah, so I'm not overly worried, to be honest with you. Terry, Spurs won't ask for only 85 million. Terry, there's Prem tax. No, I get there's Prem tax, but this is what I'm saying to you. Say the Prem tax is 20 million pounds. That means you get him for 106. I think if Liverpool, as an example, had been leading these negotiations all summer, not Bayern Munich, the starting price would have been 105, and it would have rose to what 120. Now that a team set the base mark of what's acceptable at 86, you can get him for 100, which I think clubs would be willing to spend. Do you get where I'm coming from? So, and the extra 20 odd million you save from what you would have paid, that covers his wages. And clubs are always looking to save money where they can. Kane with Gnabry, Sane, and Musiala providing for him sounds electric. With Kim and Kane, they'll be favourites along with City for the Champions League. Kane should go. Do you know what? It changes the team massively. They were decent last year, Bayern Munich, but they didn't have a killer up front. They didn't have a killer. And when they played City in Munich, it was a good game. They had good opportunities. They had good chances, Bayern Munich, but they didn't have anyone to finish it. In my opinion, Kane puts a chance or two away. Equally, Kane's so dangerous, he'll get occupied closer by rival players, which will create slightly more space for Sane's and Gnabry's and so forth. Kim, I'm gutted Man United didn't get him. Top defender. And that this is Bayern Munich trying to rebuild themselves into being a European powerhouse again, because that's the standard of that football club. They dominate the nation anyway. If you're not delivering in the Champions League, you're not delivering for the club. That's the level they're at. So, yeah, big moves from them. It'd be 110%, bro. We have another super chat here that's come in. That says, prediction, Spurs will get relegated this season. That's not going to happen, in my opinion. Personally, that isn't going to happen. But, yeah, it is what it is. The Muppeteers said United are aiming for the Forest game for Højlund to be on the bench. Yeah, like, as I said, I'm not really that worried about it. I think that what happens when Man United sign someone, there's a small injury, the media blow it into a much bigger situation than it really is because it creates headlines. Remember, 65% of tweets about Premier League football involve or are about Manchester United. So the scale is gargantuan of this football club, and that's why it gets done, unfortunately. As a Man United fan, it's jarring. KJ is joining me on the show now, going to give me his thoughts and opinions on this mega deal. KJ, Kane, £86 million done deal with Bayern Munich. Talk to me.
He has to do the right thing, man. He has to do the right thing. I know he loves Spurs. I know he loves England as a place to live for his family and a league to play in. But you've got to show the world what you're about now. You have to show the world you're about now. This is a matter of pride. As a man, sometimes your pride needs to kick in and you need to prove people wrong. People are saying mad things about Harry Kane because he hasn't won a trophy and he's still at Spurs. And if I'm him at his level, like 30 years old, I'm like, I can't take this no more. People are disrespecting my name because this club can't provide trophies because I'm in a team that no one really is at the same level as me and we can't win trophies. I'm leaving. I'm dipping. And if he's got eyes for this goal scoring record, that's nice. But you could come back in 3 years and do that in the next 2-3. Like literally, go to Germany, win a couple of Bundesligas, challenge for the Champions League, potentially win a Champions League, come back, score your goals, play until you've got the goal scoring record, play until you're 40 if it takes you that long. But go and win some major trophies because your talent does not match your trophy cabinet. His talent is up there.
Yeah.
So he has to go and do it. Personally, he has to do it.
You're absolutely right. And look, a lot of people, so Alan Shearer's remembered, he has a goal scoring record. He won the Premier League. He won the Premier League with Blackburn, and he went back to his hometown club. But still, for me, as the year, and this is the thing about legacy, as the years go by, I would say now, if you took the greatest Premier League strikers of all time and you got fans, not pundits of a certain age group who played with Shearer or know him personally, if you got them to list the greatest, most would probably put Thierry Henry top. I think Rooney, I think Aguero are above him as an example. I think there are multiple players that you would put. Drogba, I think that Chelsea fans they'd look at what he's won in English football and what he did in the Premier League. Slowly but surely, Shearer's moving down that pecking order. If Harry Kane goes away and wins some Bundesligas in the Champions League, comes back, I'm just going to make a club up here, joins Chelsea, wins the Premier League, gets the record, Alan Shearer's legacy will start to diminish. If Alan Shearer had joined Man United and not Newcastle, or joined Arsenal and not Newcastle, and won 3 or 4 more Premier Leagues, a Champions League, some more FA Cups, his legacy would be higher. This is the thing with records. When you've got the record, it's great to have. It's absolutely great to have. But it's about what else you win as well, what surrounds it. There is no clear-cut answer. Someone said the other day, you know, what you rather have, a 100-meter gold medal at the Olympics or the world record. And I get people's point that a lot of people have broken the world records in the finals of Olympics. That's utopia. Break the world record in the finals so you get both. But if you ask a guy, would you rather be the world record holder and you broke the record in a diamond meeting that nobody in the world was watching on a Friday afternoon somewhere around the world? Or would you rather not have that record but win an Olympic gold medal? I think they pick the Olympic gold medal because the record can always be broken. That moment of you winning, again, you never get shown replays of the old world record breakers unless it's them winning a medal. So winning trophies is so key. It's a much surer way of cementing your legacy within the game. And I've always said this about Harry Kane. I rate him so highly as a footballer. I want him to have that legacy. I want him to be able to go into a room when he's retired and sit there with Henry, with Rooney, with Cantona, with Drogba, and be able to say, I achieved what you guys achieved. In fact, it'd be nice for him to walk in and go, well, I've got as many leagues as you, as many Champions Leagues as you, and more goals than all of you. That's what I'd love him to have. If he's just got goals, he's not allowed in the club.
No, he's not on the table. And people need to separate. Okay, listen. A lot of people say trophy logic is stupid. It's only stupid when you say a player like Titus Bramble has 5 Champions Leagues and he never played a game, so he's better than flipping Harry Kane. That's dumb trophy logic. But to sit at the table with the greats, you have to have trophies. And if you have a long table and at the head of the table is the best player you've ever seen, so Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, you want to sit closest to them as well. So one trophy has you all the way at the end of the table with the spare man. So you need to accumulate all these trophies up to get up to the good end. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the straw man argument is always, well, Luke Chadwick's got Premier League medals. Yes, but we're not comparing all players. We are comparing players who have outstanding ability. For the attacking players in this argument, sensational outputs and consistency, but the other 2 elements of their longevity, and of course their trophies, and that's what everybody's always been compared on. Because I've always hated the argument when people say, "Oh, Gerrard's not better than Lampard and Scholes," and people say because he hasn't won the Prem, and then Liverpool fans say, "Well, Luke Chadwick's won the Prem, is he better?" It's a straw man argument. Nobody is making that claim. We're comparing the best of the best and looking at their individual careers as opposed to comparing all players based on winning trophies solely. So it's almost a case of don't reframe the argument. And that's why I think it's important he leaves. Can I ask you a question though? Do you think there could be, and you know me, this is me putting it out into the atmosphere, hoping it's us. Do you think an £85 million fee, Premier League clubs should try to hijack this? At the very least, inquire, because £86 million on the surface, by the way, that's inclusive of add-ons. So you're probably looking at the base being about 75 million minimum, right? So maximum, sorry. So should Premier League clubs try to hijack this at the very least?
I love how you've worded this question, so I don't burst your flipping bubble. You said try. Of course they should try. Every club in the world should flipping try. It's Harry Kane. It's a world-class player, or potentially world-class player if you don't think he's world-class because he hasn't won a trophy. Like he's up there as one of the best strikers in the world. So of course you got to try to get him. If you do, I think teams will try. No, I don't think they will. I think they will see Levy and his bold head and the arrogance he has to charge more for Premier League teams, which is fair to do. But like he'll charge more for Premier League teams, and they'll be like, "Yo, we've got so many other positions to fill." Like if Chelsea went in for Kane, they ain't getting Caicedo, and they need a Caicedo more personally, I think, than a Harry Kane in out of the two. If Man United go in for Harry Kane, we've got to scrap the Amrabat, scrap the new centre back, and we have to sell really, really well, like the Freds, the Maguires, all of them have to sell at like a really good price for us to accumulate the monies to go and get Harry Kane. But would I personally do that? I think I'd rather in this moment in time, I'd rather spend on the squad to secure that we're good to go on all fronts than to sign just one player. So it's a tough one, man. Harry Kane is phenomenal, but I don't think any Premier League team will seriously go in for Harry Kane.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. And look, in an ideal world, I would love the Glazers to have not wasted money on foul projects. I would love them to have not taken £2 billion out of the club, and then we can afford to do all these things at once. But again, I'm not someone that's overly negative day to day, and I'm looking at what can we do in the situation that we're in. And I agree with you on that. I've got a comment that's come in here. It's a very interesting one. It says, why is every example from you a chance to hate on Liverpool fans? Well, it isn't. But there's only two groups of fans who, in my experience, throw in that straw man Luke Chadwick argument I was talking about. And that's Liverpool fans when defending Gerrard, and it's Spurs fans when defending Kane. And we're talking about Kane leaving. So I'm not going to give that example. It's only a fraction of the fan bases. It really, really is. Ironically, when I've seen people compare people to Salah, they bring up trophies. So it's very interesting. When Souness and Pogba were going head to head, Liverpool fans brought up trophies. It's only when it comes to the Gerrard debates where trophies are not seen as an integral part. And I disagree with that. And something I've always said, and I've said it about my own players at Man United in years gone by, and I'm very fair. I judge players based on their own decision-making. So if Kane decides to stay at Tottenham, what I will not allow in 20 years' time when we're doing one of these streams is for Spurs fans to go, yeah, but he didn't play for great teams like your guys did. He was an average Spurs side. But we're in the moment. We're able to document this now. His choice would be to stay. The same as Gerrard's choice is to stay. The same as if Rashford never wins a Premier League, I will judge him on that. He's had the opportunity, or a major title. He had the opportunity to join big clubs where he could win league titles. Barcelona had been in for him. PSG had been in for him. Imagine Arsenal going to win league titles. Arsenal were in for him last year. Rashford will be judged on his decision-making as much. The same as you would judge a player on his decision-making over his diet and fitness, I judge players on their decision-making on where they choose to play because they do have a choice. So look, I'm consistent with it. But it's just only certain players get defended by not having trophies, and that's all I've ever said. Gerrard would have won at Man United just like Kane at City. Yeah, I agree. I think he would have been massively interested. He would have done it, but you've got to go and do it because at no point in the history of any sport have we judged people that haven't won things on, yeah, but if they'd have done this and that and the other, they would have done. Great, but you don't. That's not a tick box. You didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, if I was 6'4" and could run 100 meters in under 10 seconds, I'd probably have gone to the Olympics, but I ain't. Do you know what I mean? You've got to achieve it. You've got to achieve it. Let's have a look here at some of your comments that are coming through. Terry, it's a 96 million fee in pounds, mate, and we've been offered, and he's been off, and you've offered him 400k a week. So what I read here is 100 million euros. That's all I've read. Is maybe it's changed somewhere. What I read from Ornstein and Fabrizio is 100 million euros, which is 85 million pounds. So Richard, I'd love to know where you're getting that from. When you said you have, who are you talking about when you say you have?
They've.
Oh, they have. Sorry, they have. Yeah. So, I don't know where you're getting that from, Richard. Let me know the source. And by the way, you might find it. You might find Tottenham outlets. So the Alistair Golds might push that it's more money, and that's where it becomes very intriguing. And this is what I love about football fans. Ornstein seen as the GOAT, unless another journalist you trust makes the deal sound better for your club. Suddenly, let's disregard Orney. Let's disregard him and look at something else. But that's football fans for you. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Chelsea Caicedo thing later today. We've got big show with Big Steve at 3. We've got the top 6 show at 6. So make sure you are all joining us back where we'll be debating this in more detail. Richard here said Ornstein said 100 million plus. Worth above 100 million accepted. Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying there, but that's still above 100 million euros. So we don't know how much as of right now. It could be 2 million above. It could be 20 million above. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. But I hear what you're saying, bro. I say it might be 10 million higher. That makes sense. Okay, fair enough.
Terry,
I get you.
If he stays, the only reason why I would accept him staying if he outright says, I'm not signing a new contract. If at any point he stays and signs a new contract, to me, it's done. It's done. You're an idiot. You're actually an idiot because they've already shown you that they go against their word multiple times in your how many years has he been there at that club? I'm even including since he was 6. They've gone against their word.
His whole life he's been there. His whole life. His whole life.
If he says, okay, you know what? I don't want to go Bayern Munich. Cool. I want to wait till the summer, have more of my options, see where I'll go on there. I can accept that because, again, about decision making, that is, I think, technically elite decision making. You're being patient. You're having a chance to go to a club to earn. You're gonna have more wages and more options. So I can accept that. Anyhow, he signs that new deal. I'm gonna just be like, you know what, Harry Kane, wonderful player, but I can't consider you one of the best in the world anymore because it's kind of like you're running away from the fight. You're running away from the fight. You're running away from the chance to prove.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, again, I think I agree with you. I think the only way I would just in terms of my personal opinion of the situation that I would look at it and go, I get it, is if he says I'm staying, and essentially it comes out because he's going to join one of the big Premier League teams next year that he thinks he can win major trophies at, or he's going to join. Because remember, like Barcelona still need a striker. And it's a case of maybe he's like, well, no, I'm going to join Barcelona next year and do 3 or 4 years there and win major trophies as an example. Then I would look at it and be like, I get why. But yeah, staying at Spurs makes no sense to me.
Why is your mouth open like you're shocked?
Matt Law has just said Liverpool have outbid Chelsea for Moises Caicedo. Oh my God.
Terry, I said it. I tweeted it.
My God.
Liverpool.
Wow.
They had to.
Wow.
They had to.
FSG in. FSG in.
They had to, bro. They had to. We said it yesterday. They had to, bro.
But we're going to end this stream and start a new one. I'm not even going to be able to work this afternoon.
Oi, listen, don't start a new stream. Change the title, brother. Change that thumbnail. We're flipping. Go run it up. We go flipping again. Listen, they had to, bro. They had to do it. They was getting rings around. They was getting violated, beat up, mashed up by Chelsea with that Lavia bid. I'm sorry. They literally was sitting on their hands waiting for something to happen. It didn't happen. Chelsea come and swoop in. Now, as Liverpool, you've got to react. And when I say react, it's not about beating Chelsea to Lavia. Nah, you got to do something mad because these men are taking the piss. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea have been doing the mockeries for like two windows now where they're coming in, outbidding Arsenal for Mudryk, tried to hijack Rafinha, tried to hijack with Jesus, tried to hijack with Richarlison. They've been doing this to everybody, trying to lowball people, trying to make sure that they get the highest fees from Mount and Havertz. They've been taking the piss out of everybody, yeah? So Liverpool had to do something mad. And I said it in the group chats. I said it on Twitter. I don't know if I said it yesterday on the stream live because a lot of things were said. But Liverpool had to do something mad just to prove Wagwan. And you know what? What we said yesterday, it still sticks about Liverpool. It still sticks because they're only doing this now because they've been put into a certain position. So FSG aren't these amazing owners.
But what he's actually said, and we will do this on the other stream, is but it's happened before. It's happened before. It's like the reason that it's happened. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. People, we're going to launch a different.
You got to keep it. You've got to keep it. You got to keep the streak going. You just got to change the things. Yeah, you just got to change the things, man. You don't.
David's joining us. David, talk to me.
I don't know what's going on. We're both doing Eddie Alucos to each other.
Yeah. Wait, listen, you man are going for machine for machine, gunshot for gunshot, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what's going on right now. It's gone crazy.
This match on, was it you play on Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah, we play Sunday, man. That's crazy.
Sunday. Oh,
that's a crazy.
It's gonna be fiery. Come on, I need the players to actually just go at it and say, why are you trying to take our man? I need to see it, man. Beautiful scenes.
What do you think is going to happen, David?
I think Chelsea are going to get Caicedo. I think Liverpool are going to get Lavia. I don't know why they've gone about it in this way, but like both players, I would think would want the other club who's not currently bid for them. So to me, what's going to happen is Chelsea and Liverpool will work something out where they go, okay, fine, we're just going to bid what the other clubs wanted for the past 5 weeks of the window, and it will all get sorted. So.
Or not.
Yeah.
or it could just be that Liverpool end up getting him.
If Liverpool get him, then it's just a massive L on our part. But then it's also a massive L that they didn't get Lavia and that they wasted all this time.
David,
sorry. No. In terms of, if you're going to do this, why didn't you do this 4 or 5 weeks ago?
No. I hear that. But if you guys,
we take a bigger L. 100%.
Your L is mad. No.
Our L is bigger. 100%.
It's not even bigger. No, you just take it. You just hold that. I would actually just allow Liverpool just for this moment, innit? Because you, man, can't be doing what Liverpool are doing with Caicedo. What Liverpool were doing with Lavia to Caicedo, and then lose out on Caicedo, the so-called better player, more experience, the higher ceiling, all the things I've heard Chelsea fans say about Caicedo over Lavia. You cannot miss out on him, especially to the team you're trying to hijack Lavia for. I'm sorry, it can't be done. Chelsea, you have to secure your man. Otherwise, no matter how bad Liverpool have been in the transfer window, you, man, are the mugs of the window. It's done, bruv. You have to hold that, fam. If that happens. Listen, honestly. Oh,
mate,
Terry,
it's
waiting for this.
Mate, it's genuinely crazy in terms of the turnaround of this. And I'm just trying to I'm updating thumbnails. I'm trying to update titles. It's crazy. I mean, again, it could be what you said, David. There's no doubt it could be exactly what you said, that Moises Caicedo could still end up at Chelsea. This is tempting them along. But it also puts, I mean, if Brighton accept the bid and Chelsea don't offer, they can't just put, Liverpool couldn't. This is why I'm saying this is why what Eni Aluko said, I don't agree. At this level of the game, I just don't believe it happens. Because what happens if Chelsea say we pull out and Liverpool bids accepted? Liverpool would be the laughing stock of the world if they then pulled out because they didn't have the money for him. They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that to themselves. They have to. That's why I don't believe City would bid.
Tony Bloom playing all
sides. I'm saying? I just don't see it. But do you know what's really crazy? Last night, the FSG outposts, all screenshot by the way, all the videos from Liverpool fans getting mad. Imagine this. It's okay. Look, rivals will banter and then it'll go the other way. Imagine you turn around and slag your team off and go crazy, and then they end up pulling off maybe the maddest hijack in Premier League football history.
Oh, I tell you, Hussam was laughing at a guy who suggested on his stream to go and get Caicedo off Brighton and beat Chelsea to him, and he just laughed at him. He was his laughter was like, you're genuinely an idiot for suggesting that. Now they look like they could do it. Hussam, where are you, Hussam? Where are you? We need an interview.
Imagine if, okay, let's say the bid gets accepted, Chelsea don't come in and Liverpool do have to pull out. FSG out, what we saw yesterday, that's just the baby.
Oh, no, it'll be done.
There'd be something else that's
on. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why would Liverpool take so long with Lavia if they've got the P's for Caicedo? It doesn't make any sense.
It does though.
Make any
No, but
sense.
it does make sense because their ownership. They run things well, but they run it in a budget. But they're under pressure, and typically FSG, when their fans have put them under pressure, whether it's a transfer or whether it be changing ticket prices, reversing their decision around furlough. Remember, a lot of the bad things their club have done, if their fans hadn't kicked up a stink, they would have just carried on with it. There would have been no problem with it at all. You know, when they tried to copyright the word Liverpool, if their fans hadn't got angry and made a noise, they would have just carried on as normal. So the fact that they've seen their fans so angry and so frustrated, and it's gone for, listen, Sam gets a lot of stick. And I know there are, certain people out there that from the sort of Scouts, the born and bred Scouts community that are against it. But there are a lot of born and bred Scousers that agree with him now. And as soon as that noise starts to increase, they do something. So this is the point. If they get Caicedo, this is the message to Liverpool fans. Stop believing any story that comes out about your club that says you're broke, because you ain't ever broke. You've never been broke. You're one of the richest football clubs in the world, and you're owned by billionaires. Demand more. Push for more. There's so many super chats that have come through here. First one says, I believe he will join Man United next year. So I think it's about Harry Kane. Liverpool, what come on, Terry? Don't F with my feelings. But look what you're doing now. You're dropping £100 million potentially on Caicedo, which is crazy. I did say it yesterday on my super chat, and you laughed, Terry. Yeah, listen, I apologize then, bro. I honestly apologize. If this happens, I'll put my hands up and say I'm wrong. I'm a man. I know when I did. If Liverpool do this, this is big club mentality. All I would say to Liverpool fans is keep putting the pressure. I said this to Gooners recently as well. Like, don't take your foot off the neck of your owners just because they have one good summer. Keep the pressure on. Like, why let them off the hook? You should be the until you get it every year. And by the way, our clubs are all rich enough to invest every year. Every year, we should be demanding this. If Caicedo prefers Chelsea, let the bottle begin. Look, this is the thing. Caicedo all summer, Fabrizio only wants Chelsea. Listen, Liverpool are in a much better position than Chelsea right now. That is and Liverpool are attractive. They've got Jurgen Klopp. They're a better team right now, even though they had a bad season. Joining Liverpool, and this is not a dig at Chelsea, because I don't think you guys are in anywhere bad a position as people are making out. But joining Liverpool is attractive. Let's not get that twisted, people, because that would be a crazy thing to do. That would be a massively crazy thing to do. A nice brief to tell Brighton to accept our bid is what Dyke thinks. Could be true, is what David's also alluded to. I think Liverpool bid to scare Chelsea to finally pay up. Maybe. But what Matt Law has reported, it's important to go into exactly what he said. His words are, that's why Chelsea reacted and went for Lavia. So it's Liverpool that have done it first, not the other way around, according to Matt Law, as of right now.
Wait. So because they outbid, they said, bun you, man. We're going for Lavia too. All right, I love this game. I love this game. You know what? I can imagine, you know what Liverpool have done? I reckon they've done a Wenger, yeah? They've done an Arsenal. And it's the 90 million, whatever they offered,
and £1.
That's what they've done. That's what they've done.
Yeah, we don't know how much it's an outbid by. If Liverpool have outbid by like 10 mil, then that's significant. But if they've outbid by 200k, then
that is very true.
The thing is, it's crazy. Brighton could just still say no to either of them, and be like,
literally.
But that's also where again, this is why this is so finely balanced, because this is where another big L could come in. Let's just say Chelsea's bid for Lavia. I mean, there's talks it's going to be rejected. Say Chelsea go up 2 million more and get Lavia today, and then Brighton still reject what Liverpool have offered. Liverpool are left holding their dick in their hands. That's why, I was like, KJ, how mad is it? Yesterday morning, we were saying there's been no deals yet that have got the world of football excited because two teams are fighting. In the space of 24 hours, we've got two of these mofos now, and I love it.
They've done it to each other twice as well.
Yeah, it's the same two teams. Kane is a snake. I think could get Mbappe now to replace him. I like that. I like the confidence. I like the confidence. It's good. It's good. Ibby here, it says, as a Gooner, I have to have our window go smoothly and then sit back and watch all the mayhem. Chelsea not getting Caicedo after everything would be hilarious.
No, I hear that. You know what it is? As a United fan, we've had a pretty much smooth window as well. Like things take time, but like there's not been anything crazy going on. Part of
That's
me also
true.
misses the madness. Part of me misses the madness. Like, David, I know this is annoying, but being involved in this high stakes like poker game, if you win, it's just gonna feel sick in it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
You
no.
know that if you win this,
If somehow Chelsea end up with both these players, then it's just funny. It's honestly, it's just funny. Like,
Yeah, but this is it. As you say, you could end up with both these players or none of these players. And I think that's what makes it, again, it's one of those things, you know, some football matches, you watch them and it's like, if your team's in it, it's awful. Your guts wrenching, your heart's beating. But as a neutral, you're like Arsenal, Liverpool at Anfield. For a neutral, that was an amazing game. I'm sure for Liverpool and for especially for Arsenal fans, there are elements of that game that were sickeningly bad to experience and watch. And for me, that's how I kind of feel about this. I look at this very much as like, this is great to sit back and watch. Although I would like neither of you to get Caicedo because I think he's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm still listening. We're talking Kane on this show as well. I am still sitting here waiting for Mark Goldbridge's sort of prediction or opinion to come through, which is that Man United are going to pull something crazy out the bag and do some madness that nobody's expecting. Now, I don't even know what that means, but I'm hoping that it's true. Viewers, keep getting your super chats in. Thank you very much. Hit the like button as well. Let's get the likes up high, please, people. Even if you're not happy with the news today. Silver Arsenal touching his coin. Lee beats on dice.
bets on dice.
Bets on dice. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't
Abraham,
quite get it.
This
I
is
don't
it,
quite
like,
get
this
it.
This is how you run Man United. Just bare confusing, bruv.
Ah, now I understand. I get it. Thoughts on Scott Carson? Is he a player?
Yeah, he is the greatest third goalkeeper we've ever seen. Man's like 4 years old, collecting that Man City check, boy. Oh, yeah. Big up to
Big
third
up.
goalkeepers.
Big up Carson. I have still not forgiven him for that mistake against Russia. I think it was Russia. It was against somebody and we went out. The group qualifiers. One of Bayern's trophies is not as good as Blackburn.
Blackburn's one is better. Is what it is.
yeah, but 3 of them.
Or six or the 6 of them in one season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's still pressure on Kane if he goes there. He's got to win, in my opinion, like multiple trophies and everything else. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit like.
Imagine he goes there and that's the 1 year they lose out on the Bundesliga.
Yeah, can you imagine if Dortmund end up doing like a sort of 4 or 5 year, 3 or 4 year dominance, and Kane don't. Well, imagine he goes in, doesn't even win the league. Like, that would again. Just for banter, that'd be hilarious, and I'm here for it.
Bayern haven't won their version of the FA Cup in the past like 3 years, so you know.
Okay, so
yeah,
David, what do you do now? You've got this. You've been outbid. Do you drop Lavia just to tell him to calm down, mate? We'll take away what we're doing, and you just go away from Caicedo, or do you still just go for them both? Like, what are you doing?
Go for them both. If you're Todd Bowley, you just go, I am the biggest bloke in this room, and you go 100 mil Caicedo, 50 mil Lavia, Liverpool. What are you going to do? Because if you do both, you can pull out of one effectively, and then Liverpool have to react, and Liverpool aren't going to do both. They're only going to do one, and if they choose Caicedo and Caicedo prefers Chelsea, then they lose.
Yeah, Chelsea have got a chance here to embarrass Liverpool massively if they put their big boy pants on. But what's also intriguing as well, and Liverpool fans, if you sign Caicedo, this is why I said you were rejected by Jude Bellingham. You'd be signing Caicedo for only a handful of million less than Jude Bellingham cost. And actually, it means, because remember, we can't spend £100 million on one player, I'd rather buy 3 for that. You end up doing 70 million on Szoboszlai and 170 million on 2, plus 35 million. So basically 200 million on a new midfield. This is why I say to Liverpool fans, you guys drink the Kool-Aid too much on the we're broke nonsense. You have but yes, you've sold 50 million pounds worth of player in Fabinho and Henderson. But at the same time, that's only 50 million of that. It's still doing 150 million. The money is there at Liverpool. Your owners and sometimes your manager just choose not to spend it. Demand more. Demand more.
This is why Terry says Just hold it when a player rejects you. Stop doing this mental gymnastics of, oh, we don't have the money, but oh, if we try, we would have got him. Clocked it. No. Bellingham rejected you, man, for Real Madrid. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Just hold it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like I said earlier in the year. This is not a dig at Chelsea, but when like Chelsea walked away from Onana, yeah, of course you did, because he said that he only wanted to join Man United. It's not a Nunes. Man United walked away from Nunes, not because we didn't want him anymore, but because he picked Liverpool. Just take it on the like football. The transfers are more basic than people make them out to be. Anyway, should have dropped 100 mil weeks ago. So unserious is what Gunnar Dan says about Chelsea. Jay here says, as I listen on Mark's show, he updates we are working on selling Scott Maguire and a chance of getting 2 CMs, 1 centre back and 1 lone striker. Okay, fair enough. Again, listen, with extra money, I'd like us. Listen, I wouldn't mind us throwing our hat into the mix. Listen, I like the idea of Amrabat. If we could go and land Caicedo instead, like I'm well up for that upgrade. Can you imagine? Yeah, Man United become a third wheel in this. United put another bid in. That's, mate, honestly, the internet would break. It would break because then someone's taken an L. Someone's taken an L. Rumors, Balella to Arsenal. Watch it.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No, I don't see that right now personally, but you never know. By Kane, you have terrorized Arsenal for long enough. This guy loves scoring against Arsenal. This is true. I think he's the highest goal scorer in the North London derby ever. Does Caicedo suit Liverpool, though? Yes. Listen, I'm going to say this now. Caicedo's so good, he could work in any system in the Premier League because he's got the physicality, the speed, the strength, the pace, the power, but he's so technically gifted. He's got both of these things together. And the difference between him and Lavia, he's only a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, but he is just a bit of an anomaly where he's got like a grown footballing wise. He's got a mature head on young shoulders. Caicedo is absolutely impeccable. I praise Chelsea for getting him. I will not be salty if Liverpool get him and try and find some weird way how it won't work and systems. Caicedo is legit, and Liverpool's midfield goes up a level with him. And I know people, so Terry, you said that Lavia is a bit too young. I just think Lavia is younger in the head, maturity-wise, when it comes to football. Caicedo's got this weird grown-up status when he's on the football pitch and never looks unfazed, barely makes mistakes. Yeah, it'll suit Liverpool. Liverpool can't afford Jude. Briefings stink. Yeah, of course. Absolutely right. So you were going to say something, Cage?
Yeah, also what's going on in the radar is a Saudi team has also bid for Thiago as well. So Liverpool might be losing another midfielder. So they actually have to make like moves in this window. Like otherwise, they are not getting top 5. Like you can't have a midfield where you have no DM, you have your right back potentially playing number 6, and you have no cover right back for him. Like they need to make signings. And if they let go of Thiago, which I don't think is a bad idea, because does he really play anyway? Wait, did someone say Fabric just shut that rumor down? Oh, okay. I thought he endorsed it. Let me check that. But yeah, if Thiago goes, they need to spend the peas on the midfield.
Yeah, they absolutely do. This super chat here says, would you be happy with Lavia and Adams, David?
No. No.
Yeah. Well, according to Sky, you've activated the release clause of Adams. So that, again, that throws not a spanner into the works, but I feel like there's been, for about 5 weeks now, the market's moved along, but it hasn't gone very quickly. And it's now suddenly all these teams are doing business sort of almost feels last minute. We're getting relegated this season, is what this Spurs fan said. I don't think you're going to get relegated, to be fair. I'm doing my predictions tonight. You'll see where I think you're finishing, but there we go. According to Mike McGrath, Tyler Adams is having his medical at Chelsea today ahead of his move.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't think Lavia and him make sense because I feel like they're both they should be both backups to the main person.
I hear you. I hear you, bro. Terry, do you still rate Chelsea as highly now? I haven't changed my mind about Chelsea per se. I think they're going to be a much better team this year. I watched them in pre-season, and they did a lot of things that were looking good. So yeah, I'm going to stand true to what I've said all along. I think Chelsea are building a really good team. However, like I've said about every club, I'll give you my full judgment and full prediction. Even though I'm going to do a prediction tonight, that is going to change by the end of the transfer window because it always does. So I don't see Chelsea coming anywhere near mid-table or bottom half. I think they'll be in and around that top 6. I think they'll be a vastly improved team this year. The injury to Nkunku changes things slightly. They need to probably bring somebody in to replace that. But maybe that's why they're going for multiple midfielders to bolster that area of the football pitch and wait for him to come back. So we will see. Listen, people, I'm live at 3 o'clock with Big Steve. Go to that link now. It's already set up. Go and bookmark it and get it ready. We're also live at 6 p.m. tonight for the Top 6 show. And we're obviously going to be covering Caicedo and Lavia. We're going to be covering Kane. I know we've gone through them this morning, but we're going to be getting Steve's opinions and the panel's opinions. There'll be Man United updates on there as well with the links to new centre-backs. I'm sure there's some Arsenal updates with Balogun leaving. They're in for another 6, according to Mikel Delaney. So tune in later to cover all these topics, people. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.